Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. I'm Verena Borell and I work with evolutionary astrology and intuitive guidance. And today I want to share some insights about Aries season and the upcoming full moon lunar eclipse in Libra and the solar eclipse in Aries. So let's get started. And starting is the right word for Aries. So we just came out of Pisces season, and I must admit that for me personally, the shift between Pisces season to Aries season is always so strong and so huge. And I mean, it's when we look at it from an astrological perspective, it's completely, logical that it feels so intense because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So it's really where everything is coming together. It has this balsamic face character. It's the end. It's the end of a cycle. It's the end of a journey. We are returning to the cosmic womb. In some sense, we die and we let go, we release, we surrender, we grieve, we, in a way, harvest too. So it's really like a dark moon phase. And when we go with the solar year, it's 1 month. It's in February and March that we are in Pisces season. And then when Aries season starts, we have spring equinox. So the sun moves into Aries around March 20th, this year, 2024. Here in European time zones, it was on the 19th. And the sun moves into Aries, and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So we are penetrating out of the cosmic womb and into life. Aries is really the commitment of the spark of our spirit to come to incarnate on planet Earth. So we separate from the all that is, from the divine, to be birthed into a new life. We start a new journey. So there is always a sense of separation when we talk about Aries energy, because Aries must separate from the all that is Pisces, so that we can actually fulfill what we are here for when we incarnate as a separate being, as a separate entity on planet Earth and walk our path. And in Aries, we really, give me a second. In Aries, we really individuate or start our individuation journey. Aries is really about discovering ourselves anew. And we can do that every year. We do that every year when spring starts. So it's not only a shift from a yin mutable water energy, Pisces, to a yang fire cardinal energy, which is Aries. It's also the shift from the end, from death, from a conclusion, an ending point, to a completely fresh new start. And I feel that so strongly in the field. The astrology always indicates what is an overarching energy in the field. And when you live in the Northern Hemisphere, you see that nature is slowly awakening. You see that little sprouts come out of the ground and that first little flowers start to bloom. And so there is this awakening moment, this rebirth moment, really this coming out of the cosmic womb and discovering ourselves and our life in a new way. And I experienced it this year really intensely. I think Pisces season, as beautiful as Pisces season is and as connected we are in Pisces season, in Pisces in general to the all that is, to spirit, to our higher chakras, to everything that is. We are very, very connected on an energetic level. Please watch my video about Pisces season if you want to dive deeper with Pisces and me, dive in the deep waters and oceans and waters of life. I think Pisces is so much about the waters of life. But it's always, it can come with a lot of uncertainty, with a lot of, yeah, everything can be a little bit foggy, not clear. Virgo helps us to gain more clarity and focus, but in Pisces, it's, yeah, when you are sitting in the all that is, then it's sometimes hard to find your direction or your path. And when Aries kicks in, it doesn't matter if it's when Aries season starts or when another planet ingress into Aries, or when you have these Pisces versus Aries energies in your chart, then you maybe recognize the Aries energy has direction. It's a forward movement. It's an initiation. And maybe you could recognize that around March 19th, 20th, 20th, 21st, that you've got the sense that, okay, slowly but surely, it's happening. Slowly but surely, I gain more clarity. I can see new perspective. I can see again my way or direction, or a new clarity comes into my life. I can see the pathway. Maybe I feel that my energy is coming back. And this year in 2024 and also last year, the Aries energy and the whole Aries season is heightened and emphasized because we have eclipse season. Eclipses are lunations that are close in around an 18-degree orbit to the lunar nodes. So every new moon and every full moon that happens very close to the lunar nodes is an eclipse. A solar eclipse if it's a new moon, a lunar eclipse if it's a full moon. And because the lunar nodes are since summer 2023 in Aries and Libra, we have logically this year eclipse season during Aries season, and then again in fall in Libra season. And eclipses, sometimes maybe you get horror stories and scary stories about eclipses. I always like to say that eclipses are natural phases of our evolution. Eclipses are happening on planet Earth since there is a sun and a moon on planet Earth. So eclipses, we have usually 2 eclipse seasons in the year, and eclipses are natural phases that are part of the natural cycles on planet Earth, and therefore, because we are Earth beings, natural phases within our evolution journey. And eclipses, because they are happening on the lunar nodes, and the lunar nodes are so much about, our personal evolution and when we are talking about the transiting lunar nodes, not the lunar nodes in your birth chart, but the transiting lunar nodes, it's very much about our personal, but also our collective evolution, which is reflected by the lunar nodes. And it's very much about karmic topics too. So where we come from, where are we going, and when lunations are happening there, it's the evolution, the transformation is emphasized on a personal and on a collective level. So that means we have phases in the year, usually twice, around 6 weeks. So usually we have 1 solar and 1 lunar eclipse, and you can count around 6 weeks where transformation and evolution is heightened. eclipses are catalysts for change. And this can mean that talking about South Node topics, especially that things come surprisingly to an end. Chapters are closing, but also new portals can open up. So it's often that we experience during eclipse times sudden changes, unexpected endings, unexpected beginnings, new opportunities. So it's a lot of change. And this does not mean that it is bad change, but it is change. And change is always challenging for our nervous system and our system, because our body loves to stay in the now, because then it's safe that we can survive. And so I'm breaking it down in a very simple way. So it's always kind of stressful for our system when we are confronted with change. So my advice, I say it with quotation marks because you don't have to do anything that I'm saying here, but my advice for eclipse seasons is that you take exquisitely care of yourself, that you really allow your system enough time to integrate. And especially Aries, Libra, fire, air, it can be a time where a fastness, a quickness is in the field. So the energy can move really, really direct, cardinal, in your face, and very fast. So please, if you can, if it's in your capacity and if you have the privilege, please take care of yourself, that you have enough rest, that you take integration time, that you take time for grounding. Maybe you want to book some healing sessions or some kind of things where you really can reconnect with yourself and not get lost, and give your system enough space and time to adapt and to integrate. Okay, so that is about eclipses and the first eclipse that we have now in this Aries season. And to say that if you follow me here since some months or years, or on Instagram, you already know that I always talk since last summer about the overarching topics of the year or of these times, that it's all about authenticity, self-leadership, really stepping into our own strength, embracing our role as the leader of our own life, really letting go of codependencies, letting go of people-pleasing and fawning, and really allowing ourselves to reconnect with our inner fire. And these are all the topics of the lunar nodes in Aries and Libra. Of course, there are other topics in this year 2024 that are very, very important, but I think one really big, huge topic is allow yourself to be yourself, step into your leadership power, step into your creatrix power and energy, and release all things around fulfilling the expectations of others, even though it's against your needs, and so on. And these topics are heightened now. Now it's peak time. Aries, Libra in the front row. So the first lunar eclipse in Libra, it happens just a couple of days after the sun moved into Aries. So it happens on March 25 here in Europe at 8 in the morning. So when you live in the US, it might be in the night from the 24th to the 25th of March. And I share my screen for a second to show you the chart. So you see, this is the lunar eclipse in Libra. You see the moon is in 5 degrees 7 minutes Libra. The sun is in Aries. Here are the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra. And what you can see is that the Moon builds a trine to Pluto in Aquarius. So there's a lot of transformation in the field. You see that the ruler of the Sun and the ruler of the Sun and the ruler of the Moon, which are also the ruler of the lunar nodes, are Venus and Mars, and both are in Pisces. Venus is in a new phase conjunction to Saturn in Pisces. And what is really, really interesting is that asteroid goddess Diana, which I really love, builds an exact sextile to the Moon and an exact trine to the Sun. And also we have a fire trine between Diana, Pallas Athena in Sagittarius, and the Sun in Aries. Okay, what do I feel with this lunar eclipse? I feel that there is a huge energy of, first of all, with Libra, this topic around expectations can be big. So Libra is all about finding a balance. But often in Libra, especially when we grew up in an environment where we learned that we just can stay safe and loved when we overly focus on the other, our caregivers, other people, we tend to, develop fawning, people-pleasing mechanisms. And it's often that we think we must fulfill the expectations of another person to be loved and safe. So maybe you want to see and you want to ask yourself around this Libra full moon eclipse, but actually the whole year, because it's now just heightened, where you still neglect your own needs, Aries, in order to please another person, your clients, your family, your friends, your partner, to feel safe. And maybe you experience around this lunar eclipse and during Aries season situations where you are confronted in a more or less kind and more or less hard way with topics around expectations. That you think you need to fulfill expectations, that you don't no longer want to fulfill expectations and stop doing that, and therefore maybe the other person reacts. Because when you now say, okay, I am not here to fulfill your expectations, I have needs too, Aries energy, then the other person has a reaction. When you have the capacity to say what you want, then you need to have the capacity to endure that the other person reacts in a way. And maybe the other person reacts in a way that is really supportive, and you finally communicate. Libra is so much about listening to the other side and also talking and saying what you need. So really finding a new balance. We are in a new Venus and Mars cycle. The new Venus and Mars cycle started in Aquarius in February. So it's all about, and additionally, we have the South Node in Libra. So it's all about restructuring your rules and roles within your relationships to your loved ones, to your clients, to projects, to other people, to your friends. So maybe you want to communicate under this Libra full moon with the other person, your partner, your friends, your clients, what you really need, so that you can check up what they actually and truly expect from you, because often we think people expect something from us and we try to fulfill it, but actually they don't expect that from us. So it's in our head. So maybe you find via communication, find new rules and contracts and roles within your relationship. And your relationship becomes actually more deep, more honest, more intimate, more balanced, more equal, more beautiful. Libra. This is one scenario, but of course, they can happen in other scenario. There can happen the case that it can happen that you stop doing what you have already done, what you have always done, because you wanted to please and appease the other person on a subconscious level. That's often not conscious, especially when you experienced things around I need to appease the other side in order to stay safe as a child. So it might be the case that the other person is disappointed, and maybe there happens something like confrontation, like a rupture in your relationship, like a break, a separation. And I think it's very, very important, and I see that with that Mars and Venus, the ruler of the Sun and the Moon in Aries and Libra, are both in Pisces during this lunar eclipse. And Pisces is about compassion, having self-compassion and having compassion for the other side. And also it's a very loving and healing energy. So maybe you can communicate in a diplomatic way and find solutions. And if not, and if the other side really says, okay, when you do what you need to do, when you show up in an authentic way, I don't want this relationship any longer, then it might be important to bring it to an end and to separate. And in that case, I think that Mars and Venus and Pisces really reflect that we are always loved. We are always loved by something that is bigger than human love. We are always loved by the divine, by God, Goddess, by Mother Earth, by the cosmos, whatever, by source, whatever feels right for you. And I'm doing at the moment a 3-year-long professional training with Somatic Experiencing International, and it's so much about these sensations in our body and the emotions that are in our body, and that we can hold that different parts of our body can have different sensations and different emotions. And I want to invite you that when you are in the situation that you have the feeling, okay, there's separation, there's rupture happening in my relationships, and I'm really afraid, that you also look for the part inside of you that feels this infinite love, that feels that you are loved by the divine, and that you reconnect with the part of you that knows that you are always nurtured, that you are always loved, that you are always held. It's not about spiritual bypassing. It's not about neglecting your emotions and your sadness and your grief. But I think it can be both. You can be sad, you can be angry, you can be sad, you can grieve, and also you can reconnect to this part that knows that you are loved. And maybe you don't find this part inside of your body yet, but maybe you can experience it in certain situation. Maybe you have a pet, and when your kitty cat comes to you, you really feel this overwhelm of love. Or I experience it when I'm out in nature, when I'm laying on the ground and I feel Mother Earth underneath me, I feel really loved and told and nurtured. Or when I'm with horses, I'm a big, big horse lover. Horses are my favorite co-regulators. When I'm with horses, I feel this deep connection to something that is non-human and that is kind of bigger. And I also want to invite you to be very honest with yourself under this Libra full moon lunar eclipse. about your expectations. Because it's not only about not fulfilling any longer the expectations that others have and repressing your own Aries needs. It's also about what do you expect from others. And that's often a little more spicy because often we give love and energy and time into something. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a project. Maybe it's the relationship to your clients and customers. And you expect that you get something out of it, that you receive something very particular back. So maybe you have a very clear idea what you want to get out of it, what you want to get back, what you want to receive. And you are maybe super disappointed right now because you poured all of your love and your energy into this relationship, into this project. And the other side is not giving you back what you expected. And I think there it is really, really important to see, okay, do I pour my love into something that it's not worth it? Maybe it's important to come back to yourself, pull your energy back to yourself, and don't feed this relationship any longer because it does not give you back what you need. Maybe it's about saying what you need so that you kind of, again, communication, say, okay, I give you so much, it does not feel balanced, I need more from you, or I need this from you. So that the other side can decide, okay, I want to give it to you or not. Or, and this is the most vulnerable part of this self-honest reflection, is that you want from an external party, from another person, validation and love, because you have such a huge lack of self-love and love inside of you. And in this case, and you are constantly disappointed that you don't get back what you need, that you have the feeling that I work my ass off and I am still hungry. I don't get the cake. I just get the breadcrumbs. And in this case, it might be very, very important that you are very self-honest to yourself. If ever anyone outside of you can give you the love that you truly need, because there is such a lack of love inside of you. And in this case, it might be very, very important to maybe work with a healing practitioner, a psychologist, or a therapist, a coach, or with yourself, with your own healing techniques, with your spirit guides, with Mother Nature, to really find this love inside of you so that you are not dependent, the shadow of Libra, and codependent of another person who tells you that you are loved. And this can be in a business context too. So you can work your ass off for your business, pour all of your energy inside of your business, and you're not receiving the sign-ups or the money from your clients, and you feel really disappointed, and you feel really unworthy, and you really doubt yourself. And maybe it's important to see how you can feed your own hunger for love in another area of life, or better, within yourself, so that you don't become codependent on others. I think that one thing really stands out for me in this lunar eclipse is Diana. So I showed you that Diana builds this trine to the sun and the sextile to the moon. And Diana is really my favorite asteroid goddess. You can see her behind me. I painted her and I wrote a book about her. Diana is really about our untamed nature. She lives wild and free in the forests of Arcadia. She does not care what the gods of Mount Olympus are doing. She lives according to her own rules. She has this yang quality as a huntress, but she has also this yin quality as a goddess of the moon. And Diana in Leo really invites us under this Libra lunation that yeah, we are allowed to express more freely what we truly need. And we are allowed to reveal our untamed nature. And when we do so, we can create relationships that mirror our true nature. So there are these fiery impulses. It's about setting boundaries. It's about saying no. It's about finding your own rules and frameworks. And Diana really knows that a relationship should never mean that you repress your true nature, that you repress your needs. It's really about allowing your untamed nature to unfold and to show up in an authentic way. Yeah, and I think what I already said with this idea of creating new rules and roles inside of our relationships, I mean, the new phase conjunction between Venus and Saturn really reflects that. Saturn and Pisces and Venus there, it's really about finding new roles and rules, how we are relating to our partners, projects, clients, friends, family. And practice self-compassion on the way. It's in Pisces. Yeah, now I talked a lot about Libra. Let's talk a little bit about the solar eclipse in Aries. I can show you the chart again because it's very interesting. The solar eclipse in Aries happens in a very, very close conjunction to Chiron. So you see the sun and the moon are in 19°23 and Chiron is in 1924. So it's super, super close. And Mars is still in Pisces and it's in a balsamic conjunction to Saturn. But Venus is already in Aries. Yeah, and it's in a square to Ceres. And Mercury is already retrograde. So I think, especially with this balsamic conjunction to Saturn and this Chiron, I really felt a healing breakdown and breakthrough moment. So I think with this Aries new moon, it's really about discovering our agency and our independence, and healing our wounds around rejection and around being too big or wanting too much, being too hungry. All of these topics that we have already worked on over the last months, but then during the lunar eclipse, where it's all about, okay, where do I people please? What do I really want? How can I communicate my needs? Can I find a new brave balance? When you are on my newsletter list, I titled the newsletter "Finding a Brave Balance" about the Libra new moon. So it's really about trying to find this balance. And I think then under the solar eclipse in Aries, it's really about, okay, there is a new oomph in the direction to what you want and what you need. And maybe even this urge for more independence, this urge for more freedom and liberation, and that you are allowed to go your path, and that you are allowed to say what you need and what you want, and really, yeah, find new ways and discover yourself anew. It's a rebirth. Every season is always a rebirth, and you have changed so much over the last months. So discover yourself anew. Give it some space, and maybe in a playful way. Aries is we come new to Earth. So it's about try and error. And I think that it's when we step into our self-leadership role and when we really become the leader of our own life. And in Aries, we are the leader, we are the pioneer. And when we are doing so, it often comes with the price of loneliness and with the price of staying authentic might sometimes have the price to feel a little bit lonely at first. I think that when we are brave enough to stay authentic over a longer period of time, we come to Aquarius and we attract the people who are on one wavelength with us, and we attract the people that are actually really fitting to us, and that we understand and that they understand us. But in Aries, we can feel very lonely and we can feel very alone. And I think that under this new moon in Aries, there might show up a lot of old fears, Chiron, around being rejected, being alone. And this is one of the biggest fears of humankind, because being rejected and being alone means that you cannot survive. And in Aries, we want to survive. Aries is really the warrior archetype that wants to survive. And I want to invite you to discover all topics around loneliness and being alone in a new way. My Aries placements invite you to discover loneliness in a new way, because being alone also means being all one. Mars, the ruler of Aries, is in Pisces. In Pisces, we are connected to the all that is. And there is a very intense power. There is a power in being alone. Being alone maybe just for a day, or being alone because you recognize, okay, when I'm myself, I'm losing certain people. And I'm pretty sure that you are not completely alone. I hope so. I hope that you're not completely alone. I'm pretty sure that maybe one relationship falls apart, but maybe you have a good friend, or you have a family member, or you have a pet, or you have on We Are Social some sort of community. I really hope that is so. If not, then I really, really hope that you find help and a person who can help you to go with you through this journey, because we don't stay alone. It's not about staying alone. It's about finding ourselves so that we then can create relationships where we can stay our authentic self and where we don't have to adapt and to form. That takes time. But what I wanted to do is invite you into a new perspective on being alone, because my Aries placements and my many planets in the 12th house are speaking here. Being alone means to be all one. And when you are alone, you can feel your own inner strength and your own aliveness and your very special agency and resilience. You can, I say, but maybe that's my Aries speaking here. You can just feel your own inner strength and your own aliveness and your own agency and your own resilience when you are alone and detached from others, from other energies. And when you feel this connection to your inner strength, then you recognize that your inner strength, that the vitality, the life force energy, the fire that flows through you is sourced by the divine, is sourced by the big light, and that you are connected. So I really want to invite you to meditate a little bit about being alone and see being alone for a time as a huge opportunity to discover yourself anew, but also to find a new connection to your own inner strength and your own power and your own willpower and your own vitality and your own, aliveness. And I think that there is a certain play in this Aries season this year and in general in Aries season and with Aries and Libra, this play between and finding the balance, Libra, between independence and interdependence. So we are, and that's another thing too, even though you feel alone, you are never alone. You are always connected. You are always connected to your own inner flame, and therefore with the divine. You are always connected with nature. You are always connected with animals, entities, your spirit guides. You are never alone. And often you can feel the connections to other beings, animals, spirit guides, nature, more strongly when you're not with other people. Yeah? And I think here is something around, what do you need right now? Do you need independence or interdependence? Because when you have a story in your mind that you are always alone and that you are always the lone wolf and that you must fight alone and that you're the warrior that fights alone and stands alone and is never got support from anyone, it might be time to rewrite the story and see where it's maybe time that it's part of your inner strength to ask for help and to really, go for connection. And maybe then it's your Aries power and braveness to connect with others without losing your agency and your authenticity. But when you are more the Libra person and you are very, very, very strongly connected all the time with other people and you are completely losing yourself within these interdependence, then it might be a good time to be for a phase alone and allow yourself to explore yourself and your goals, your identity, the way you work in a new way. Okay, and to come to an end, I just wanted to share with you one little meditation about fire, because I had to think about fire so much right when Aries season started. About my own fire placements, and I have Mars on my ascendant, and I think that fire is really such an interesting energy because it warms you. With fire you can cook your food, so there is a nourishing quality. Fire is inspiration, it's the spark of light. Prometheus brought fire to humankind so that they could evolve and that humankind could expand and grow. And on the other side, fire can be really destructive. And I think that it's not about, and I think that we can be very, very scared by our own fire. Maybe you made the experience that other people said that your fire is too bright and your fire is too big and that you want too much. And then your fire can feel very, very, very scary. And you try to repress your fire, and then your flame burns down. And then you lose your sense of self, you lose your spark, you lose your inspiration, you lose your vitality. Or you can be afraid of your own fire because it can burn you out. Because your fire, you can be so much in your fire that your fire becomes completely out of control and you are burning out, and you are so afraid to burn out that you don't want to follow your fire because you are afraid that then you will hurt yourself again and you cannot, you cannot control it. And I think it's not about controlling our inner fire. It's not about repressing it. It's really about nurturing it and tend to it. And that might mean that you nurture it, that you give it something so that it can burn a little bit more. And I don't know about you, but my fire needs as nourishment, joy, pleasure, time for myself. So what nourishes your fire? What nourishes your sense of vitality, aliveness, inspiration? And sometimes tending and nurturing our flames and our fire also means to bring some calmness in it, to maybe give it a container, channel it wisely, so that it does not become so big that it burns your whole house down and your whole body down. So there is a very conscious tending of our fire and of our flame. And often it's very important that we follow a little bit that we follow our fire. And it's also important to not run into the fire and burn ourselves down. So, and I think this nurturing and this nourishment and this tending to our inner fire is also connected with this deep wisdom that your flame is not supposed to burn in the same intensity all the time. When you look into a candle or when you look into a fire, it's sometimes slower, sometimes bigger, and that's okay. So see that it's neither going out, nor burning you down, nor you're controlling it overly so that, you repress it. No, nourish it, tend to it, channel it wisely and in a way that feels good and that let you feel alive and inspired. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to work with me, I give one-on-one astrology sessions based on evolutionary astrology in German and English language. You find all information about that in the show notes. I have different other offerings like my Venus cycle workshop or my moon cycle workshop, which are available in German and in English language. I have a beautiful video course about the whole astrology of 2024 that is available for immediate download in German language. And I will also offer a beautiful, beautiful workshop this May together with a beautiful co-facilitator. It's still a surprise, but it will be wild. So make sure that you sign up for my newsletter list. You find the link in the show notes. And my newsletter is the best way to learn more about all of my programs. I give astrology programs in German language, in English language, about my upcoming courses, about this upcoming cooperation. And sign up for my newsletter if you want to learn more about this. And there's also a Venus freebie, a free gift, a little Venus guide, which is really beautiful that you can download for free. And feel free to comment below the video. What are your hot takes from this Aries season video? And feel also free to reach out to me if you have any questions about my offerings. You find me on Instagram at Verena Borell. I'm happy to find you there. I'm very active on Instagram and share almost daily little astro and energy updates. And thank you for watching this video. And I guess I see you soon in Taurus season. So take care, take exquisitely good care during eclipse season, and see you soon. Thank you for watching.